Hello everyone, Sobroni of GNA Reviews here, bringing you a first impressions video. Yes, we're back to doing these. I want to do a first impression specifically on BB Dubai, new servant, new moon cancer, releasing in JP. What we are calling a class lord, which I'll get to in a minute. The reason why I wanted to cover this, and by the way, this isn't a spotlight, just my general first impression, so basically my first reaction to seeing the servant and what I think about them before I do any testing or any of that. We'll get a full servant spotlight for her when she releases in NA 2 years from now, so just wait a little bit. But right off the bat, I did want to get my thoughts out on BB, and I think she's going to be the most influential servant. Yeah, listen to chat, subscribe. She's going to be the most influential servant we've gotten since Oberon. She is a moon cancer. We don't have her full ascension art yet, but, you know, pretty good, pretty good. It's a BB, you know. The main thing I wanted to talk, you can see her stats up here. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. She does have some really nice HP. Oh, that's level 100. Well, she does have some good HP. Damn, that's a lot of HP, holy shit. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is her skills. So it seems like BB is starting a new trend in FGO, hopefully a new trend, in that she's a support for a specific type of unit, specific class. She is a moon cancer support, and she's a moon cancer herself. But basically her skills are a direct buff, or I guess an indirect buff, to the entire moon cancer class, which they desperately needed. So her first skill is City Resurrecting EX. It's an arts buff for the party. It's a 20% NP charge for the party. It gives them a special buff for 3 turns that's unique to BB. But also, if they're a moon cancer or a demi-human or demi-servant, it gives them an additional buff to their NP damage of 30% and an additional buff to their NP gain rate of 30%. Those are not insignificant, and those can actually matter a lot for farming, especially with that 20% NP charge and 20% arts buff. Like, this is huge for someone like Kiara, Moon Cancer Summer Kiara. Huge for her. This is huge for regular BB, the 4-star BB. Just for like a challenge quest perspective, this is really, really strong. And she also has another skill that's specifically for moon cancers, and the skill itself is just bonkers. It's an AoE buff removal, reduces enemy attack, and reduces their, I didn't even notice this, 100% attack down for a turn. Holy shit, I can say shit, it's been longer than a minute. Holy shit, 100% attack down on all enemies. That's insane. That's crazy. And then 20% arch resist down. The moon cancer aspect of it, though, is a buff to crit damage and star generating. Again, can be really strong on any crit focused moon cancers. Can't think of any right now, but in the future there probably will be. And then her third skill is just a personal 50% NP charge and a skill cooldown reduction, but it also gives her a ability to change her Noble Phantasm. This is another thing I really wanted in FGO forever, since literally it first came out. I always wanted 5-star servants to have multiple NPs, because in lore, a lot of the major servants have multiple NPs, and I really hate that it's not reflected in the game itself. So the fact that BB can swap her NP is actually really dope. I hope more servants get this feature. She has a bunch of busted passives, obviously. You know, she has a innate attack damage buff against evil of 20%. She also deals 20% extra damage against not servant enemies. So the fuck is that? That's like every enemy in the game that's not a servant, she just does 20% more damage. Okay, cool. That's fucking huge. Yeah, 2 magic resistances, isn't it? She has 50% debuff resistance. Also, a special defense buff against lawful alignment enemies and servant enemies, so she's great against servants as well. She's just busted. All her passives are busted. The other major thing to talk about is her NP, which she has 2 of. The first NP is an AoE arts attack that just deals a shit ton of damage. It deals extra damage to enemies that she marks with her second skill, I think. Or yeah, I think it was her second or third skill. Again, really strong, 5 hits. Very likely can use this for farming. Haven't tried farming with her yet, so I don't know what her ratios are or how strong she is, but she seems pretty fucking strong, so my guess is she is a really, really good Castoria farmer. Yeah, I can't say Mooncancer worst class anymore, just because of Summer BB. And then her second buff, or her second NP, which she can switch to using her third skill, is Gold Gingant Garment, which is a support AoE. This is something like I would love if this is what I wanted Artoria to have for the longest. I wanted Artoria to have Excalibur as 1 NP and then like Avalon, which would be like a party-wide invincibility or something, as her second NP. But basically BB has that. Her first NP is an AoE arts attack, and then her second NP that she could switch to at any time is a party-wide invincibility, debuff immunity, and it increases the party's NP damage by 30%, which again stacks with her other Mooncancer buff for 30%. So if you're a Mooncancer, that's a free 60% bonus NP damage for you. And then she also has NP charge, and this is what's bonkers. 30% bonus NP charge for the party is crazy. It doesn't work on herself, unfortunately, but that's like Tamamo on steroids. So yeah, this is fucking crazy. The fact that she can be both a really good farming servant and also like a top tier support is pretty crazy. And I really hope we see more of these. Like, I would love to see a specialized support for foreigner servants. That would be amazing. Foreigners really need a buff in FGO. But this whole like specialized support servant for each class is something I really like a lot. And we can, if they start like doing even more like granular supports, like maybe giving a buffer for casters that is specifically like a damage buffing caster support, so that way like some of the DPS casters are worth using. Like right now, why would I ever use Ilya, right? Or like Sanzo. If they can give us like a support that specifically works with like caster DPS servants and makes them way better, that'd be awesome. It lets you use so many other servants in the game, and I think Summer BB, or I should say Dubai BB, since we already have a Summer BB, Dubai BB is just completely elevating Mooncancers as a class. I'm really curious to see how she works with like Arc, regular BB, CL, Kiara. Yeah, this is just really good. This is the kind of evolution I wanted FGO to have for a long time, so I'm glad we're finally getting that. And I am looking forward to playing her in NA when she releases, and doing a spotlight on her then too. If I had to give her a grade, it would probably be like, it's too early to really even guess at a grade for her. It's so hard to tell. It'd probably be like an A or S, somewhere between there. It's really hard to tell without playtesting, but I just love the general design that she has. A minus, maybe somewhere between A minus and S, all right? Or EX, I don't know how good she is. So we'll see. We will see. But I really like the general direction that FGO is going if we're going to get more supports like Dubai BB.